Tens of thousands fill the Superdome. It's the Bayou Classic. Grambling State University versus Southern. Fulfilling one man's quest to take Grambling to the world and make the game of football a pathway to equality. Eddie Robinson, coach, American, legend. Eddie Robinson grew up in a sharecropping family until they moved to Baton Rouge for better opportunities. His father worked for Standard Oil. His mother was a domestic. That was a rough time in our nation's history. Floods, economic crisis. But those problems seemed to disappear when Eddie put his hands on a football.
He'd run into me and grab my legs, say he was tackling me, and he would take all the socks he could get and make a football out and play.
He'd attend every game he could, even LSU, which at that time accepted no black students. Even the bleachers were segregated. In high school and college, he was a good student and a star athlete, but he had one goal in sight.
In the third grade, I knew I wanted to be a football coach, and I never wavered.
He got that chance at the Louisiana Negro Normal and Industrial Institute in Grambling, Louisiana.
President Jones said, well, Eddie, we're going to bring you in and let you be our coach. And he told Jones, I'm going to win every game. And he said he didn't win any games his first year.
Then he lost his whole team as the players went off to fight in World War II. When those who survived came back, they found that some things had not changed.
Many Negro football coaches wonder what it would be like if you had all of these things that some of the other coaches, Bear, Woody, and the other guys have to work with.
But talking about a wrong doesn't help it. My thing is to change it.
In 1947, Jackie Robinson broke the color barrier of Major League Baseball. But professional football was lagging behind until Eddie Robinson changed that with a player known as Tank Younger.
I shudder to think what would have happened without Younger signing that contract. Boy, I can imagine that a lot of boys who played football for Grambling would have been lost.
Tank Younger carrying everything before him, referee included. The Colts can't stop him. Younger scores, Rams win 20-14.
Eddie Robinson had carved an opening for black players in professional football.
He told us what we needed to do in order to go to that next level.
He worked us hard. We understood what hard work was. We understood what it took to be the best.
We worked so hard at Grambling, so when I got to the NFL, we have an hour and 45-minute practice. I was like, wow, we done? This is it?
Like other civil rights pioneers, Eddie Robinson was seeking equality and winning it one touchdown at a time.
Eddie Robinson stood for equality, equal access to opportunity. And that's what the struggle, the civil rights struggle, was about. I would say he had his own movement going.
He knew that we all realized we were black and that, you know, you're in America. I mean, we know that. It wasn't up to him to beat that into you. His whole point was don't fall back on that.
You know, before you go out, I just wish that we as coaches could just lift you to your peak performance.
Coach Rob never got into black and white. Coach Rob got into red, white, and blue. It was about being able to survive in America. And the only way you can survive in America was with a degree.
Now, we believe that
Coach Rob understood that the American dream demanded more than just speed and physical strength.
you got to be intelligent to play our kind of ball.
He talked to the parents about if I can get your son to come to Grambling, he will graduate. He will finish school. and get his degree.
Protocol as far as dress, as far as decorum and on the road, all of that was extremely important to him because he always said, remember now, you're representing Grambling.
Now, you're college men. I don't believe you do that at home. You go and eat and leave your tray. Take your tray, put it where you're supposed to do. Don't cut the line. Just be a good student and a good person.
One time, they wouldn't let me in the room to eat because I did not have my tie on.
I said, oh, if we had been in the stadium, that would have went out of the stadium. And Rob said, stick man, it's not went, it's gone.
Rob came up with the idea that the athletes would have to take dancing, modern dancing. They nearly died.
You know, he'll come around every morning, bringing that cowbell, waking everyone up. We had guys hiding up under the beds, guys hiding in the closet, but you couldn't pull anything over on Coach Rob.
You know, you date guys and you're talking to them. They look at their watches. Oh, we got to go. Where y'all got to go? Coach Rob has a curfew. We have to be in. Oh, what is he going to do to you? We don't want to find out.
His vacation started when practice started. You know, that's what he wanted to do.
If it's a big rivalry game, Coach Rob gonna cry. And he'll just hit that little pat and kick on the ground and turn and start sniffing. He say, y'all don't care. They're gonna beat the hell out of you. By that time, everybody get fired up. Until you get to be a senior, you heard that speech so many times and you say, he's gonna cry in a minute.
This is about a remarkable school and a remarkable man.
Coach Rob's hard work was recognized when a documentary called 100 Yards to Glory was broadcast nationwide. Soon, NFL scouts were putting Grambling on their schedule. More and more of Coach Rob's players were drafted into the pros. And avid fans cheered the team from far beyond the piney hills of North Louisiana.
It was known as the Black Notre Dame. I think every black kid in America back in my day heard of Coach Eddie Roberts' name, Grambling State University.
Next came endorsements.
I've driven it, and I tell you, it can really make you feel drive happy.
TV coverage of games, national bowl games, and international exhibitions.
We played in D.C., we played in New York, Yankee Stadium, we played in Shea Stadium, the Superdome, Silverdome, Oregon State, Tokyo, Japan. Coach Rob had a motto, half football team will travel.
He had his own weekly TV show.
The Eddie Robinson Show, featuring the Tigers of Grambling State University.
And to see a black man at that particular time on a TV show, you know, with sponsorships.
They even made a movie about how he boldly integrated his team back in the 60s.
Coach Robinson?
Coach Rob was played by Harry Belafonte, an international star.
Are we going to win? Yes! All season long? Yes! I can't hear you. Yes!
It really wasn't until we start seeing things more on television, and that's when you kind of sit back and you're like, okay, you know, I've been among one of the greatest and I didn't really know it.
When you talk about Rob, you're talking about Bear Bryant, you're talking about Joe Paterno, you're talking about Bobby Bowden, you're talking about all of the other ones.
Well, and he used to say that, you know, people talk about, you know, my football wins and all of that, but the greatest win of all of it is that I've had one job and one wife.
You ready to go to the football game? You could play the quarterback, but you can't be the quarterback without a shoe.
Eddie Robinson did not get his head turned by all that fame.
You're gonna be a kicker?
He stuck by Grambling, just like he stuck by his wife, Doris.
We were special to each other. I could help him do things like write letters and say speeches. Oh, dance. He was the best dancer you ever did see. Why? People would stop so they could look at us dance. He carried me just about all over the world. It was always, come on, baby. And baby was ready.
With Doris by his side, Eddie Robinson's achievements continued to mount. taking it to a national triumph with 4 NFL Hall of Famers: Willie Davis, Charlie Joyner, Willie Brown, and Buck Buchanan. And by breaking Coach Bear Bryant's record of most college wins. Coach Rob was now the winningest coach in college football, ever. And then he topped that.
One thing he said was the proudest moment of his football life was the day I walked off that field as a winner in the Super Bowl.
Doug Williams took the adjective black out of the black quarterback, an NFL black quarterback, when he proved that he could play.
Eddie Robinson had traveled far to achieve the American dream, and along the way, he transformed sports and changed America. Yet death spares no one.
Top story today, the sports world is mourning the loss of a legend and role model as news of Eddie Robinson's death makes its way around the country.
He sent more than 200 players to the NFL, including Doug Williams, Willie Davis, Ernie Ladd, Buck Buchanan, Charlie Joyner.
But was also influential in baseball and basketball. In fact, he's responsible for a dozen players moving from Grambling to the NBA.
We didn't lose a coach this week. We lost a national treasure.
Somebody like Eddie Robinson doesn't just pass away. A man like that leaves a legacy.
He had such a great impact. Look at the men that he coached. Look where they are today. They are lawyers, doctors, legislators, teachers, and you name it.
He knew to make them believe in themselves and to make them know that they are winners, and on any given day, they could win.
If anyone needs a yardstick to measure his accomplishments, they need look no further than the 200-plus players who got the chance to live every kid's dream and become professional athletes, thanks to Eddie Robinson. Any game day, you can see how he changed the face of national football. Those players and coaches are standing on one man's shoulders. They're carrying on the legacy of Coach Eddie Robinson and his beloved Grambling, cradle of the pros.